Thousands of years ago, ancient India told of a war so immense that it forever shaped its culture, philosophy, and spiritual traditions. This legendary conflict was the Kurukshetra War, the central event of the epic Mahabharata. More than a battle, it became a timeless story of duty, justice, sacrifice, and moral choice. At its heart stood one royal family, divided by ambition, honor, and the struggle for a kingdom. The kingdom of Hastinapura was ruled by the Kuru dynasty, one of the greatest royal houses in ancient tradition. Two branches of this dynasty would eventually stand against one another in a devastating war. The five Pandava brothers were known for courage, discipline, and devotion to righteousness. Their cousins, the 100 Kauravas, were led by the proud and determined prince Duryodhana. What began as a family dispute slowly grew into a conflict that would engulf an entire civilization. After the death of King Pandu, his sons expected to share their rightful inheritance. But jealousy and political ambition soon poisoned the relationship between the cousins. Despite repeated efforts to maintain peace, mistrust continued to grow. The Pandavas eventually established the magnificent city of Indraprastha, earning admiration throughout the land. Its growing wealth only deepened Duryodhana's resentment. Seeking another path to power, the Kauravas invited the Pandavas to a royal game of dice. The game was manipulated through deception, placing everything the Pandavas possessed at risk. One by one, their kingdom, treasures, and freedom were lost. The defeat forced the Pandavas into years of exile, far from their homeland. For 13 long years, a group of Hispanic individuals endured hardship while preparing for an uncertain future. When the exile ended, the Pandavas peacefully requested the return of their rightful kingdom. According to the epic, even a request for only 5 villages was refused. With peace no longer possible, both sides began gathering allies for the greatest war described in the Mahabharata. Kings from across ancient India answered the call, choosing sides in a conflict that would change the course of the epic forever. The Kauravas assembled an enormous force of 11 mighty divisions, while the Pandavas gathered 7 determined divisions. Each army included skilled archers, fearless infantry, powerful war elephants, swift cavalry, and magnificent chariots. Among the Pandavas, Arjuna stood as one of the greatest archers ever celebrated in the epic. Many legendary warriors joined the battlefield, each carrying unmatched skill and unforgettable reputations. Serving as Arjuna's charioteer was Krishna, whose wisdom would become as important as any weapon. As both armies reached Kurukshetra, thousands of banners waved beneath the rising sun. The sacred plain of Kurukshetra became the stage for one of the world's most influential epic battles. War drums echoed across the plains as conch shells announced the beginning of the confrontation. Just before the fighting began, Arjuna asked Krishna to place their chariot between the two armies. Looking across the battlefield, Arjuna recognized teachers, elders, cousins, and lifelong friends among the opposing ranks. Overwhelmed with sorrow, he questioned whether victory could ever justify such terrible loss. His hands trembled, and his famous bow, Gandiva, slipped from his grasp. Arjuna declared that he would rather abandon the battle than fight against his own family. At that moment, Krishna began a timeless conversation that would become the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna taught that every person must fulfill their righteous duty with wisdom, courage, and selflessness. He explained that the soul is eternal, while the physical body is temporary. These teachings became one of Hindu philosophy's most influential spiritual texts. Inspired by Krishna's guidance, Arjuna regained clarity and accepted his duty. The warriors raised their weapons once more, knowing the moment of decision had arrived. The first arrows were about to fly, marking the beginning of the legendary 18-day Kurukshetra War. As the conch shells echoed across Kurukshetra, thousands of warriors charged into the greatest battle of the Mahabharata. Leading the Kaurava army was the legendary Bhishma, revered as one of the greatest warriors of his age. The battlefield thundered with galloping horses, armored elephants, and clouds of dust rising into the sky. His experience and unmatched skill made him nearly impossible to defeat. Day after day, Bhishma's leadership placed enormous pressure on the Pandava forces. Even the mighty Arjuna hesitated to fight the elder he deeply respected. Krishna reminded Arjuna that duty required difficult choices, even against those he loved. Inspired once more, Arjuna returned to the fight with renewed determination. Bhima carved a path through enemy ranks with extraordinary strength and fearless determination. The fierce warrior Abhimanyu displayed remarkable courage despite his young age. On every side, legendary heroes demonstrated unmatched skill with bows, swords, maces, and spears. As the days passed, both armies suffered tremendous losses, yet neither side surrendered. Realizing Bhishma could not be defeated through ordinary combat, the Pandavas sought another strategy. According to the epic, Bhishma had vowed never to raise weapons against Shikhandi. Using this knowledge, Arjuna advanced, with Shikhandi positioned before him. Bhishma lowered his weapons, remaining faithful to his lifelong promise. Arjuna released countless arrows, and Bhishma fell upon a bed formed entirely of shafts. Though gravely wounded, Bhishma remained alive, choosing the moment of his own departure, according to the epic. The fall of Bhishma marked a turning point that transformed the course of the war. Command of the Kaurava forces now passed to the renowned teacher, Drona. The battle would only grow fiercer, bringing new heroes, heartbreaking sacrifices, and unforgettable moments. With Bhishma fallen and Drona in command, the Kurukshetra War entered its most decisive and tragic chapter. With Bhishma no longer leading the Kaurava army, Drona commanded the battlefield with extraordinary skill. The fighting intensified, and each new day brought greater sacrifice on both sides. Among the Pandavas, the young warrior Abhimanyu displayed remarkable courage beyond his years. He broke into the formidable Chakravyuha battle formation, determined to open a path for his allies. His death became one of the most emotional moments of the Mahabharata, strengthening the Pandavas' resolve. Soon after, Drona himself fell, ending the command of another legendary master. For years, destiny had prepared Karna and Arjuna for their unforgettable final duel. Their battle tested every skill, every weapon, and every lesson they had ever learned. According to the Mahabharata, Karna's chariot became trapped during the decisive encounter. Guided by Krishna, Arjuna released the decisive arrow that ended Karna's final stand. On the 18th and final day, Duryodhana stood as the last great leader of the Kaurava cause. He accepted a final mace duel against the powerful Bhima, fulfilling a long-awaited confrontation. The 18-day conflict had left both victory and sorrow woven together in equal measure. Yudhishthira was crowned king, but the cost of the kingdom weighed heavily upon him. The Mahabharata reminds us that even victory can bring profound responsibility and grief. At the heart of this epic stands the Bhagavad Gita, whose teachings continue to inspire millions around the world.
Its message of duty, righteousness, selfless action, and spiritual wisdom remains timeless. Whether viewed as history, sacred tradition, or timeless literature, the Kurukshetra War continues to shape Hindu philosophy and ethical thought. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through the Mahabharata, please like, subscribe, and join Lost Lament